everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, #MovieBay. I am Movie Bay, and in this video I'm going to be doing a recap review over Baddies Caribbean episode 1. But before we get too into it though, if you are a returning subby, I already need y'all to hit that thumbs up button, because y'all already know how we get down over here. You're going to enjoy the content, and if you're new, just stumbling onto my channel, I'm gonna need you to hit the subscribe button, because you're new and you're gonna enjoy the content like I just promised you, period. And that's on period. So let's go ahead and say that Jayla is a whole mood, and Aubrey O'Day is giving me all the facial expressions that I need. Okay, now honestly, just a quick overview of the entire episode. I want to say that everybody looks good, okay? And this episode definitely could have been two, because y'all remember like BGC when it was like meet the girls, welcome to the mansion, making it to the mansion. They could have had one of those episodes for sure, just introducing the 20 pictures that are on the cast, 25 pictures that's on the cast, and then we could have just had, you know, content. But the only thing that really pissed me off was the fact that the opening credits was 31 minutes into the episode. But Biggie ate this look down. I'm gonna do a whole separate review over the intro looks, because some of these looks were good and some of these looks were like, girl, suck that gut in. But make sure you subscribe, stay tuned for that. Probably gonna drop that manana. Let's go ahead and get into the episode, y'all. I'm acting like Zeus at this point, just rambling. Okay, so the OG cast, returning cast members, they're all introduced. We're all on the top of a deck, okay? And this is when Natalie gifts the girls with their Baddies chains. And what's that girl name? Scotty was like, thank you, Zeus. And Natalie said, no, bitch, thank you, Natalie. Like, they cut the audio, but I read the lips, okay? Natalie wants to make it clear that this is my coin, not Zeus's coin. Now, this is when Natalie brings up the fact that, yeah, we're going to have a lot of new girls and we're going to have the dinner with them. However, I know as OGs, we got some things to squash by ourselves, amongst ourselves. And this is when Biggie, surprised the hell out of me. Biggie was like, it's y'all, because y'all were talking ish online. And I was like, oh. Well, okay, Biggie, pipe up then. But she also stated that, so Jayla, we can either stand on business or we can just stay out of each other's faces. And that's when Jayla said, no.
So now, right? It could be that, or we could stay out of each other's faces and be that. Whichever one you want to do.
Hold on. Baby said, no, we're not doing that. And I just want to say, Biggie, I'm split between this, because on the internet, you very much so immediately said, I'll smack you too, win, lose, or draw. And now when we're face to face, I have an option of staying out of each other's faces. I don't know if that's maturity or scary. So Jayla does start standing up while she's talking to Biggie, while she's talking to everybody. And this is when Biggie is like, but you doing too much though. But why you standing though? And granted, why are you standing? But I don't think I'm doing too much when you say you're the one who's gonna hit me. I think I'm doing the exact right amount, if you ask me. So they both stand up. Biggie throws a weak swing that doesn't connect. Air ball, and they're separated. They're gonna table it and handle it later. Now, when everybody calms down, Natalie, of course, has to tell everybody who else is going to be on the show, as if they don't already know. She reads this long, everlasting list of people who's going to be on the cast. I'm not going through everybody. Y'all know who's going to be on the show, but I do want to talk about 3 people in particular. So we have Tinka, my honestly preseason fave, and she is giving very much so, it's Miss These Bitches Connect with me on the best day in a million years, period. It's giving Orange, you glad to see me. This is the first time I laughed this entire episode. I don't know, y'all. She is me. I am she. Right now, anyways. I don't know how she's going to be later on in the season. Then we have Callie, who is known as Blueface's sister, or the mother's daughter, as she puts it. But she wants to stamp her name. And her agenda is also to get Natalie off of the show. Okay. All right. What do y'all think about that? How old is she? Because later she comes for Natalie talking about, ain't you 45? How old are you? Because I don't think you in your prime either, girl. Then we have Big Gretch giving very much so the little Gretch. And by the look at her face and these eyebrows, I could tell that she gonna piss me off. Now, about this scene, Suki and Sapphire, they sit down. And the only thing I'm gonna say about this is online, people were leaving comments like, Suki is old, get over it, drop it, leave it alone, whoop-de-whoop. But I'm like, y'all, they on TV. You have to squash it on camera. But I will say, if Sapphire is saying we done been to this club, we done did this and did that all since the reunion, why are you still mad, Suki? That is the question for me. But we also find out that Suki bows out really early. Like, we knew that she wasn't going to be on the season, but baby, this episode 1, and she was just like, I really just don't have time. I don't want to deal with people trying to get clout off of my name. Because let's be honest, Suki is the biggest name on this show. Her, Natalie, they like the biggest names on this show. I guess you could slide Tommy in there, but she legit has a career outside of Baddies. And for these bums that have nothing but Baddies, Rolly, I can't afford to damage my brand anymore. So I agree with Suki's decision to not do this season, honestly. Y'all, they did a whole scene with the two that I can't stand the most, Anna Mac and Rolly. But what I can say is about this sit down, I really enjoyed them just reading each other, because I guess they couldn't fight. She got in a fight to where her eye was fractured, basically. Her face was fractured in 3 places. And I'm like, that should be a sign from God to say, sit your butt down somewhere. This is not the realm you need to be in. You need to concentrate on your craft. You know, did you forget you were a singer? Like, I feel like that's a sign from the Lord. But I feel like she has her blinders on. She is ignoring that sign clearly. So she couldn't fight. And Rolly is compressed to all hell. And, of course, she couldn't fight. So the fact that they actually had to sit there and read each other down, that brought back old reality TV teas.
Beat your ass. You can't beat my ass.
So it's finally time for the Baddies dinner. And as soon as Audrey is done with her introduction, Jayla is like, you said you was gonna smack me, so what's up? And they get up, and honestly, y'all, this fight was so weak to me. Biggie got a good mush on Jayla, and everything else was just like, what are y'all really doing? But they did show Biggie with a knot on her head, so I said, well, something must have connected. Like, I was hearing things, but I wasn't seeing things, if that makes sense. The camera looked like it was somebody in high school off their telephone, but I'm old, out their cell phone trying to record how shaky it was. Like, I was hearing what sounded like punches, but I wasn't seeing any punches land. But the evidence is on Biggie's forehead, and Jayla got clawed up. Now, I guess during that first round or second round, Biggie must have snatched Jayla's baddie chain off of her neck, because everybody, including Mariah Lynn's traumatized, but is around Biggie trying to get the chain back, and Biggie is not letting up. I agree with Mariah Lynn. Let's not make the chain a main character this season. I thought that storyline was drilled into the ground last season, and I don't want it returning this season whatsoever. Luckily, it looks like Jayla really doesn't care about the chain at all. So Audrey is like, can we do shoddy o'clock? Yeah, I know she ain't gonna stay too long, but just based off of her facial expressions and her humor, I really want her to stay around. I wish she would have stayed around for the entire season. So after the girls do their shot o'clock, a couple of the newbies, the celebrity guest newbies, come in. Callie, Bianca, and Meatball. And Grant LaShawn already know, I was so proud that Meatball came in looking decent. I'm just happy Meatball looked presentable, okay? Might be the only time this entire season. But Bianca gives her hugs, and then she immediately swings on Sapphire, because she says she is here to stand on business with Mariah. And if Mariah doesn't jump in, you ain't a real friend. I don't care, y'all. I'm like, when it comes to jumping, I don't agree with it. But if my friend is here to have my back about some old beef, I'm jumping into that fight. That fight's not going to be one-on-one. I don't care. So with that being said, the next episode, Callie is also going to come at Natalie, and then we see Natalie being an entire fan of the Claremont twins. But look at these, y'all. Who are you? Who are we? We are that. And if they don't do that in an intro confessional, I'm going to have a fit. Thank y'all so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, drop your comments down below. And if you are new, you better hit that subscribe button by now, because, like, what are you really doing? Thank y'all so much, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.